like to call our meeting to order. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Karen Clemens, the board president, and I am going to turn it over to Molly for roll call. The trustees, please.
Miss Allen? Oh, she's not here. I know that. Miss Clemens?
Yes, here.
Mr. Harding?
Here.
Mr. Hendon?
Here.
Miss Redden?
Here.
And there she is.
Come
Stay here.
Just say here.
We're doing roll call.
We're doing roll call.
Say here.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
We call? Okay.
Yep, we're good.
All right, so public comments. Do we have any public comments? All right, we do not. So I will turn it over to our first action item, the director's report. Paula?
Okay, thank you, Karen. I'm Paula Bremheger, and this is my director's report. I'm going to start off with a recap of staff members who presented at the recent Ohio Library Council convention. We had several staff members who not only attended, but also had the opportunity to present at that event in Toledo at the end of September, the 28th through the 30th. The presenters and presentations included Policing Language in Libraries, Why Language is Important by Kaya Bergen, branch manager at our Loveland branch, and Sandra Presley, the senior branch manager at Price Hill. We also had Reimagining Library Service for New Americans by Brooke Meyer, and she's a lifelong learning specialist with the library. And finally, Elevating BIPOC Voices in Your Library, working together with BIPOC individuals and allies. Corey Schuster, youth librarian from Covedale, and Allison Jacobs, youth librarian from Mount Healthy branch, presented there. As noted in my August board report, 3 of our staff members were also honored at the OLC Awards and Luncheon during the convention. The Reading Branch Library Customer Specialist, Laura Rosario, received the 2022 Service Excellence Award, and West End Branch Manager Kaloni Parks and Genealogy and Local History Reference Coordinator Kent Mulcahy received the 2022 Library Innovation Award. So congratulations to those individuals again. I do want to note that Blink is happening October 13th through the 16th, and we will participate. Blink is, of course, one of the largest light, art, and projection mapping events in the nation. This year, we are excited to host an art installation, which is called Grove, an immersive sculpture featuring columns of light with pockets and clearings for people to explore. It's actually going to be on the Vine Street side of the main library and our newly renovated North Plaza. Grove is made possible through the generous support of the Library Foundation. So I do want to give a shout out to those folks who made sure that we could do that. We will also have a float in the Blink Parade and keep the main library, the north building of our first floor, open until 10 p.m. on Thursday through Sunday during that Blink weekend. And Karen, if you're okay with it, I would like to just show, I did get some pictures from Stacy, who's been working on the Blink. And so this is a non-illuminated, you can see what it looks like out on the North Street Plaza. It's very cool. Some people have already walked underneath it. They are just like going with it. I'll see if I can find another one here. Yes, so it is pretty fun. I have to tell you, and I wanted to make sure to tell Stacy, I walked under it after work yesterday, and it did have that effect of art, like I just giggled because it was very silly and fun. So it's not even lit up yet, and it's awesome. So I just want to invite everyone to come to that. Okay, West Side Council visits. Throughout the late summer and fall, I've been visiting village, township, and city council meetings on the western side of the county in order to update leaders and residents about the progress of our facilities master plan. Much of our work has been focused on locations in the central and more eastern parts of the county due to the pressing issues such as accessibility. So locations in the west zone of the FMP may not be aware of all of the progress and work. My thanks to our leaders and trustees of Whitewater Township, the City of Harrison, Crosby Township, Harrison Township, the Village of North Bend, who have provided time at their recent meetings for an update from me. These visits will continue in the coming weeks, and I'm also scheduled to attend meetings at the Green Township Trustee meeting, Delhi Township Trustee, and the Addiston Village Council. Speaking of meetings, I have had some meetings with city council members as we continue to raise awareness of the importance and value of the library to our community. I've been meeting with city council members to answer questions, provide updates on construction, and ensure that council is aware of all that the library is doing to support our residents and businesses. In early October, I had the chance to meet with council member Harris, Keating, Owens, and Vice Mayor Kearney. Elaine Fay, Government Relations Coordinator, and I will continue to schedule meetings with the remaining council members throughout the fall and winter. The Urban Library Council, I do want to let everyone know I'll be attending the 2022 ULC Forum in Washington, D.C. from November 16th through 18th. The Urban Library Council is an organization of about 165 members from large urban libraries from across the country. So LA and New York, Cincinnati, Minneapolis, all of the big library systems often have representation there, just to make sure everybody knows. This year's forum topic is creating a place for democracy, and will feature expert-led sessions on preserving democracy and cultivating the future of libraries as a central pillar within our communities. I also want to note the library board appointment. So our board member Monica Donath-Conan's term expired right at the end of September. So at the time that I wrote this, we had not received any additional information about that, and she'd continued to act as a trustee in accordance with this section of the Ohio Revised Code. I do want to let everyone know that this afternoon at the Hamilton County Commission meeting, they did make an appointment to the board. Colleen Reynolds will be serving with us. Her term officially started, I think, at 2 o'clock when their commission meeting ended. So she did reach out to me. She's in South Carolina on business, so wasn't able to come, but I'll be talking with her, and she hopefully will be able to come to our December meeting. I do want to thank Ms. Conan for her continued service, and I did let her know the situation, and she sent just a couple of quick words that she wanted to make sure that I had the chance to tell all of you. She said, she has really enjoyed working with everyone and with all of the library team, and she's very proud of all that we've accomplished for the community. She, of course, believes that the library has emerged as a thought leader and a doer, and is so wonderful to see all that we've been able to do with our facilities master plan to support minds of all kinds. So she said, please share my thanks and best wishes to the board. It's been an honor to serve with all of them, and wishing everyone continued success. So I did tell Ms. Conan, we will do a resolution and invite her to stop by our December meeting and thank her more formally. We didn't have a chance today because, of course, we got a little bit of notice, but not much, so we definitely will. Yes. Okay, that concludes my report.
All right, thank you, Paula. So there's no motions needed for this. Next, we will have Mr. Hendon to present the Facilities, Finance, and Audit Committee report, please.
The Facilities, Finance, and Audit Committee met virtually on October 7th. Committee staff Robert Hendon, Committee Chair Nadine Allen were in attendance. Staff members Paula Brem-Heger, Molly DeFosse were all in attendance. It is recommended that the board take the following action. First of all, revision of the 2020 estimated resources and annual appropriations. The general fund confirming the following appropriation increase for account for actual activity in the general fund to account for expenses greater than anticipated for levy collection fees for the county. That the expenses were $15,100. Such shows an increase in expense of $15,100. CARES Act Grant Fund, confirming the following appropriation increase to account for actual activity in the CARES Act Fund. Expenses, salaries increased by, is that $5.14?
It is. These have to tie out exactly. It's one of the rules.
Retirement increased by $2.24. I feel like I'm in 1880. Insurance benefits decreased by $7.37. Supplies decreased by $5,949. Purchase and contract services increased by $5,409 for a net change in expense of 1 cent.
We had the same reaction.
I don't make the rules.
Monthly salary in the 1880s?
Now, the Building and Repair Fund, confirm the following appropriation increase to account for actual activity in the Building and Repair Fund to account for updated to originally estimated activity by object account. Now, the building and repair fund confirmation expenses, supplies increased by $100,000. Property rentals increased by $200,000. Other contracts and purchase services increased by $400,000. Land improvements increased by $5 million. Bank improvements decreased by $6 million. Computers and equipment increased by $300,000, so there's no net change in expenses. Main library project update. The majority of work has moved to the GMP number 5, which is the interior renovation and social stair installation. The demolition work related to these items is also complete, but there's a bit of work, design work associated with stair support that still needs to be refined. The work on GMP 4 demolition and curtain wall is almost complete. We need to confirm the following change orders to modify the demolition and curtain wall GMP for Turner Construction. Additional foundation work required for design and art, $132,780. Additional steel for deck support, $12,233. Deduct for unused soil allowance and contingencies, $150,058. Installation of a new entry with a vestibule off of the North Plaza is expected to begin in November. Confirm the following change orders to modify the North Plaza GMP for Turner Construction. Add one new entry off of Plaza, $90,205. North parking lot was added to the maintenance scope of the elevator GMP. The brick repair, the remaining rear wall is underway, and the lot will remain in its current condition until the fence arrives in early 2023. Confirm the following change orders to modify the elevator GMP for Turner Construction and increase the scope to add the north parking lot improvements. Add north parking lot to scope of project, $344,701. Confirm the following change orders to modify the skylight GMP for Turner Construction. Deduct unneeded allowances, $59,793. Now the Deer Park branch. The exterior facade is complete, which concludes the contractor's scope of work. We're working to complete the closeout process. There are some design items that the library is working to resolve outside the contracted work. Confirm the following change orders to modify the agreement with Perkins Carmack Construction for the Deer Park branch. General trades, net of scope, reductions, unused allowances, and minor increases. $78,474.27. Green Township branch refresh, excuse me. The Green Township branch closed at the end of August for approximately 3 months to complete an exterior branch refresh and improve accessibility to the restroom. Confirm the following change orders to modify the agreement with Lutz Construction for Green Township branch refresh. Additional scope for undated furniture layout, $2,865.50. Marymount Interior Courtyard project. The project is complete and has been very well received by the community. Confirm the following change orders to modify the agreement with Leo J. Bremeyer for the Marymount Exterior Courtyard project. Remove wood work from scope, $1,000. Forest Park branch property exchange. The City of Forest Park has completed the parcel layout and working to record it with this county and prepare the necessary deed. We continue to work with them to develop a plan to resolve electric lines on the property. Approve an extension of the closing date of the Forest Park property exchange to November 17, 2022. Resolution accepting tax levy amount and rate. Approve the following resolution is forwarded by Hamilton County Auditor Dusty Rhodes to the county fiscal officers for the following resolution for acceptance of 2023 tax levy rates and amounts. Resolution is to be approved by a roll call vote and return to the auditor before October 26, 2022. Resolution accepting amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission to authorize the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor. All right, whereas,
Mr. Hendon, Molly, does he need to read all that?
You don't have to read it into the record if you don't want to.
Because that's pretty standard.
Yeah, that's standard procedural language.
Yeah, so I think all the schedules, do any of those?
all right,
No,
everybody has the schedule in their
Yeah,
report.
yeah, those are just the two tax levies we receive revenue for.
Yeah, I think we could pick up with the Hyde Park branch easement. The rest of it, it's in public record at this point. You're comfortable with that? Okay.
Well, let me read this part. Resolved that the clerk of the board is and hereby directed to certify a copy of the resolution of the Hamilton County Auditor of Hamilton County. Hyde Park branch easement. Approve a permanent easement to MSD for a new sewer line installed at the Hyde Park branch property in coordination with the neighboring development Exhibit 1 and authorize Eva Jane Remain Coombe Director to execute the document on behalf of the library. The documentation has been reviewed and approved by the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office. Now, Hyde Park branch elevator replacement and renovation. Emerson has finalized the construction design for Hyde Park. Plans were shared with the community on September 7th. We are requesting authorization for Eva Jane Remain, Coombe Director, to modify the branch renovation and replacement 2022 through 2027. Agreement with Turner Construction via GMP amendment subject to owner and attorney review as follows. Approved GMP inclusive of CMR fee and CMR contingency equal to or less than $3,560,000 with a project budget of $4,850,000, detailed below, and authorize Eva Jane Remain, the director, to execute the agreement and approve change orders as needed with confirmation to the board. CMR cost exclusive fee is $3,560,000. The owner cost estimate, design fees, permits, and furniture is $340,000, furniture and equipment, $300,000, temporary location, $175,000, other expenses, $155,000, and contingency of $320,000 for a total of $4,850,000. As a result of the anticipated closure greater than 6 months, the library is working to secure a temporary location for the branch to maintain service. The current branch on Erie closed on September 29, 2022, and a temporary location in Hyde Park Plaza, 1.3 miles from branch, open October 6, 2022. Capitalization threshold increase the capitalization threshold for recording capital assessments in the annual comprehensive financial report from $1,500 to $5,000 effective January 1st, 2023. Although it is not a defined policy, the board has historically established the capitalization threshold for fixed assets as part of reporting the annual comprehensive financial report, which is prepared in conjunction with the annual audit. The previous threshold was established as approximately $2002 at $1,500. Given the implementation of the new accounting system, we reviewed the current threshold and the cost estimate life and current purchase assets. Now, I need a vote to approve the resolutions.
I can make a motion to accept.
Somebody make a motion?
A second.
Okay. Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Clemens?
Aye.
Mr. Harding?
Aye.
Mr. Hendon?
Aye.
Mr. Olson?
Aye.
Ms. Redden?
Aye.
Thank you.
Almost through it, Mr. Hendon. Just a little bit more there. Thank you.
Walnut Hills Branch Accessibility. The library received a temporary certificate of occupancy September 22nd, 2022. The installation of the furniture, shelving, library materials is ongoing with expectation of public opening on October the 20th, 2022. We continue to work with the model group on opportunities to maximize the adjacencies of our two properties. Masonville branch accessibility. Construction moving along quickly on build-out of the leased space. The interior finishes are ongoing, and we hope to be installing furniture shelving later this month. We will continue the opening date of later in October. Forest Park branch replacement. We're continuing to work with the architect SHP and the construction manager at risk, Turner Construction, for the design. We anticipate receiving an updated cost estimate for the next few weeks, and then moving into construction documents. The plan is to have the guaranteed maximum price in the first quarter of 2023, with construction beginning shortly thereafter. 2022 capital maintenance project. The board approved the maximum GMP for the Pleasant Ridge capital maintenance project on August 9, 2022. The board meeting inclusive of CMR and CMR contingencies equal to or less than $890,000 with a total project estimate of $1.2 million. The annual GMP is $812,111, and the project budget remains at $1.2 million. The board approved the maximum GMP for the Coreyville capital maintenance project at the August 9, 2022 board meeting, inclusive of CMR fee and the CMR contingency equal to or less than $2.1 million, with total project estimate of $2.8 million. The annual GMP is $2,095,552. The project budget remains at $2.8 million. All right, now there's
Sure, you
a,
want to read all that?
No, I don't think we need to read that, because that's just a flat.
that concludes my report. Attached is Exhibit 1, the Hyde Park parking lot, flat language. So that concludes my report.
All right. Next, Judge Allen, the HR committee report,
Right.
please.
All right. Nadine Allen, Chair, Christopher Harding, and Diane Cunningham Redding were present. Human resource items. The Human Resources Committee met on October 6, 2022 at the Walnut Hills Branch Library. Committee Chair Nadine Allen and committee members Christopher Harding and Diane Cunningham Redding were in attendance, as was Trustee Robert G. Hendon. Staff members Paula Brem-Heger and Kyla Hardin were also in attendance. Core group benefits. In September, the library received our 2023 medical plan renewal quote from Anthem, our current medical carrier. The renewal was quoted at a 35% increase to current rates for all plans. The loss ratio medical claims that Anthem has paid to the healthcare provider compared to library premiums received by Anthem has been high in the past months. The Human Resources Team and Benefits Broker, USI, conducted medical care year reviews of the most competitive major carriers. Each of the carriers submitted quotes and plans which were received by our benefits team and our benefits staff work group. Several carriers declined to bid for our business as their rates to be even higher than Anthem's quotes. Of the 3 quotes received, Custom Design Benefits offered the best plan designs and the lowest, most financially feasible option. The overall plan cost increase of Anthem is approximately $1.6 million annually, while the overall cost decrease of Custom Design Benefits is approximately $750,000 annually. The High Deductible Health Plan, HSA, will have a 22% increase, and the plan design will keep the same structure as we currently have with Anthem. One additional plan design, copay plan, will be offered and operated as a low-cost, benefits-rich option that is similar to an HMO. Through these plan designs, there are additional rebates and cost savings that will be recognized as well, such as all prescription rebates will now be received by the library rather than kept by the carrier. Certain specialty medications will be paid for through manufacturer coupons and carved out of the library's cost expenses. And if the library pays more in premiums than is paid to providers in medical costs, the difference will now be returned to the library. All full-time staff will attend open enrollment meetings with our benefits broker, USI, and third-party administrator, Custom Design Benefits, to learn about the new plan offerings and new benefits provider. These sessions will be offered both in person at multiple locations as well as virtually to ensure that staff are well informed of the transition and have the resources needed to make an educated medical plan selection. All of the benefit carriers and plan designs will remain the same, as all rates were quoted at no cost increase for 2023. Due to the large unprecedented increase in medical plan costs, and in order for the library to sustain a strong benefits program moving forward, we are recommending that the premium cost share for medical benefits change from employee 16%, employer 84%, to employee 20% and employer 80% for the high deductible plan, health plan, HSA option, and a cost share change from employee 5%, employer 95%, to employee 10%, employer 90% for the co-pay plan option, which will replace our current HMO option. We recommend that the dental plan cost share remain the same, employee 35 and employer 65, and that the library continue to contribute 25 prorated as necessary toward the deductible into the employee's health savings account for staff participating in the HSA plan. The benefits open enrollment will begin Monday, November 7th, 2022, and a comparison of current costs, Anthem's quoted renewal cost, and recommended plan costs are outlined in Exhibit A. For information only,
Okay, Judge
Okay.
Allen, let me just ask for a point of privilege to show everyone
All
this
right.
chart, which I will say that when we met with the committee on October 6th,
We didn't have
there was
that.
a request to have this included, so we have, and, it's a important thing to talk through, so Kyla can,
I would
if
like
you'd
for
like
Kyla,
to talk
please
through
do that.
this. Yes, so that we have the information.
So outlined in Exhibit A are the two different plans that we'll be offering. One is the copay plan, which is replacing our HMO, but it does offer many more options than a typical HMO in terms of medical providers. So in the first column, you'll see, and I do want to mention that the second plan option is below. It's our high deductible plan, which is a mirror image of our current high deductible plan. So staff really would not see a change other than the network going from Anthem to Medical Mutual of Ohio. In the first column here, it's the total cost, employer and employee included, of our current plans. The employer costs we're currently contributing are 95% for the HMO and 84% for the high deductible, and those are the costs for employer currently. And then aside from that is the employee cost. Next to that is what the employee would pay with a 35% Anthem renewal at the contribution shares that we're recommending. And then on the 2023 renewal option columns, we have the total cost that will be incurring, that will be split between employer and employee, and what those would look like at a 90-10 split and an 80-20 split. And on the far right column is the amount that the employee would recognize as the cost difference, and these costs are monthly, so these are not by pay. Yeah.
for information only,
Do you want to call for?
do I need to call for a motion to? Motion, yeah, a move for a motion to accept.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Clemens? Aye. Mr. Harding?
Aye.
Mr. Hendon? Mr. Olson?
Aye.
Ms. Redding?
Aye.
Thank you.
For information only, customer service Appreciation Week, October 3rd, marked the beginning of National Customer Service Week, which celebrates the people who make customer service happen. The library honored our team in a week-long celebration of our staff who are continually providing excellent customer service. As a culture that recognizes both the importance of external customer service and also how critical internal customer service is to our organization, all staff were invited to celebrate by participating in the fun activities planned by our staff morale team and senior leadership team. staff development around DEI and culture. As part of our investing in staff and DEI and culture work, staff recently attended our staff development days. This year's staff development days, led by our DEI and culture director, Dr. Dees, and co-facilitated by our staff development coordinator, Jen Rushi, focused on implicit bias and microaggressions. Feedback was strong around these sessions, and additional DEI and culture development sessions will be scheduled for this upcoming spring. And also, on October the 4th, over 50 staff attended a development session entitled Age Savvy, which was facilitated by a staff member at the Denver Public Library. This virtual training explored lifelong learning and connecting library services and programs for our more senior population. And that concludes my report.
All right. All right, next we have, I'll turn things over to Ms. Redden for the operations report, please.
Thank you, Karen. Operations Committee, myself as Chair, Robert Hendon, and Monica Conan, committee members. Report is from Brett Bonfield, COO. Featured manager is Ashley Barnhill. Ashley Barnhill is the senior branch manager at the Walnut Hills branch. Ashley earned her MLIS from Simmons College in 2010 while working at the Social Law Library at John Adams Courthouse in Boston. She holds an undergraduate degree in English Literature from Miami University. Ashley began her career with the Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Library at the Avondale branch, first as its children's librarian in 2013, and then as the Avondale branch manager in 2015. In 2018, she moved to the College Hill branch as the branch manager. Ashley has managed the Walnut Hills branch since 2020, where she has played an active role in planning its next generation library renovation. Throughout her career, Ashley has helped develop the next generation of leaders for our library, serving as a mentor in the last 3 Tomorrow's Manager classes. Ashley also serves as our restorative practices project team and the arts and culture community of the Walnut Hills Area Council. Ashley.
Thank you. Thank you all for having your meeting here today. So excited to show off the new branch. But soon, the Walnut Hills Branch Library will open after an extensive renovation and expansion. This project will make the nearly 117 years old building fully accessible to all. Beyond accessibility, the project has expanded the branch to slightly more than 20,000 square feet and added a functional parking lot. The features and design come from much community input, as Walnut Hills is an active community and the library is very much a part of it. We're excited to begin serving the community in a space that is able to accommodate its diverse needs. It will include more than 50 computers, a community room that will seat up to 35 people on the main level, 7 smaller meeting rooms on the main level, and 1 larger auditorium on the lower level. While we are excited to welcome our communities that we serve into the building, the temporary space that we have been in has given us invaluable opportunities. Over the last 2 years, we've been able to focus on outreach in the community. Events attended include Festivals of Evanston this year, Juneteenth, both in Walnut Hills and Eden Park, Summer Scholars at Academy of World Languages, Evanston Academy, and Douglas Elementary, Walnut Hills Street Food Festival, just to name a few. We are grateful that we have had the opportunity to focus on our community where they are, and now we are excited to greet them in this improved library and give them the tools they need. Thank you.
I just want to say really quickly that how amazing it is that running a branch and a renovation project at the same time, that's absolutely amazing. We definitely commend you for that.
Thank you.
100%.
Great, thank you. Staff development days for public service staff. The next round of library customer advisor and library customer specialist training and development day sessions are being held in October and November. A number of our public service staff are in these job classifications. The session is offered at a variety of times to make it as convenient as possible for staff members to participate. This round's topic is trauma-informed care, and the sessions are being led by Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Culture Director Dr. Ashley Dees. These biannual trainings began in 2021 and help address one of our 4 organizational priorities, investing in staff. Previous topics included restorative practices and customer experience. Resource Navigator. Anthony Prince started in our new Resource Navigator position the week of August 21. This role is a revision of the social worker staff position introduced 2 months before the COVID-19 pandemic. Anthony has spent his first month developing relationships with our staff members, customers, and community partners. Prior to working at the library, Anthony worked in Dayton for Montgomery County Public Health, Miami Valley Fair Housing, and in Cincinnati for Ohio Valley Goodwill. Nepali Translation Health Insurance Enrollment. On September 15 and 25, the Groesbeck Branch Library partnered with Free Store Food Bank and Get Covered Ohio to host Nepali Translation Health Insurance Enrollment Assistance in order to connect its growing number of Nepalese community members to materials and resources. A Nepali English speaker helped participants learn about their eligibility for Medicaid or marketplace insurance and ensured they received answers to their questions about health services. Turnout exceeded expectations, and our partners have worked with Groesbeck staff to schedule another session at the beginning of November. And that is my report.
Mrs. Clemens, can I have a moment of personal privilege to recognize a staff member from the public service arena who is retiring, has served with the library many, many years. Here, Katie Greifenkamp. Yes. I have had the pleasure of knowing Katie for many years, and she may be the last person working at the library who knew me when I was a student shelver. So I think that's true. So I worked with Katie at Green Township when it first opened. So.
We both had to be bookshelvers, huh?
Well, yeah, right? Yeah, right. Long time ago. That's a long time ago. Yes, yes. Met. So congratulations, Katie. Yeah.
Thank you. You're welcome. Need a motion to accept the report?
Not for
No,
this
we're
one.
not. No.
And now I have another strange one because we're about to do the strategy. So
Okay.
I'm going to call Eric Mead, who is the strategy consultant. He's
Okay.
just listening in case there are any questions, but I didn't want to be dialing the phone and seem very like I was doing something else. I'm actually just calling Eric, so he will just listen. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, she's calling Eric. So we met October 6th at the Walnut Hills Branch Library in this room. Myself, Mr. Hendon were in attendance, as well as Judge Allen. Staff members, Paula Bram-Heger, Beth Yoke were also in attendance, Eric Mead, Whole Mind Strategy Group, with whom the library has been working with on the development of our strategic plan, also attended virtually. And to dive into our new strategic plan, the strategic planning process kicked off in the spring with an environmental scan, stakeholder interviews, and an all-staff survey. These activities were followed by a 1.5-day workshop and included community leaders and cross-section of staff to test the themes and ideas gathered during the interviews, surveys, and workshops. Informational sessions for all staff were held in June and July. Additional insight was gathered via Community Advisory Council meeting in July and ongoing discussions with all staff in August. The information gathered during these activities helped Eric Mead, the consultant leading the project, draft a strategic plan, which will be in Exhibit 1, which was shared in September with senior leadership team and agency managers for their feedback. The feedback was used to refine the plan. And I'll pause in case there's any questions.
That's the
That's the
plan.
strategic
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there are the priorities.
Any questions? All right. Well, moving on, I know this will be distributed out throughout the branches, so I know if anybody else is interested, they can read through the report. But we participated in the National Voter Registration Day on September 20th with an event on the renovated North Plaza of the downtown main library. Along with our partner organization, Greater Cincinnati Voter Collaborative, we helped community members register to vote update address changes with the Hamilton County Board of Elections, request a vote by mail application, and reminded participants about voting deadlines and locations and how to find a customized sample ballot. We also updated our public service staff on all voting deadlines, procedures, and options to best inform our customers. COVID test kits and vaccines. We continue to provide free at-home COVID test kits in partnership with the Ohio Library Council and the Ohio Department of Health at our drive-through locations. We also continue to provide no-cost PCR and rapid COVID testing in partnership with Hamilton County Public Health and Ethos Labs at our Price Hill and Coreyville branch libraries. In addition, we hosted the Get Covered Ohio effort to connect community members to health insurance enrollment information at a variety of library locations across the county to provide equity of access to health insurance eligibility and options. The Groesbeck Branch Library hosted 3 enrollment events translated into Nepali language to meet the needs of growing Nepali communities in our region. Our workforce development team developed our second job fair, Find a Meaningful Career in Healthcare, in response to our workforce labor crisis in nursing, healthcare, and home healthcare. The job fair will feature employers and fast-track education providers such as Brighton Center, Cincinnati State, Healthcare Access Now, UC Health, and more, in partnership with Ohio Means Jobs, Cincinnati Hamilton County, and the Southwest Ohio Region Workforce Investment Board. We have planned several events in October to promote Careers in Construction Month in partnership with Turner Construction that will encourage youth to be inspired to prepare for meaningful careers in construction and to help diversify the construction workforce in our region. An approved new cardholder welcome kit rolled out in September. This kit includes a map of CHPL libraries, a bookmark with essential account tips, and an I Got My Library Card sticker. The goals of the new library cardholder welcome kit are to make sure new customers feel informed, supported, and excited about their new library cards, yet do not feel overwhelmed. The kit will be used to welcome new customers year-round. And we also have a new advocacy page on the library's website to help grow the number of library advocates in the community. The webpage features some of the many ways to support the library, including getting a library card, engaging on social media, joining a friends group, or donating to the Library Foundation, contacting elected officials, and more. And finally, the free application for the federal student aid opened on October 1st. Library staff have prepared to offer FAFSA assistance as an important component of our Future Ready initiative. We partnered with UC's One Stop to offer training for library staff and are collaborating on FAFSA at Deer Park on November 5th. On September 6th, Maine's North Plaza opened to the public. Staff are working to activate this space in September and October through Plaza pop-ups to test out different programs and service options outdoors at Maine. Upcoming highlights include an art installation during Blink, generously funded by the Library Foundation, and visits from Connectivity Champions, the quick response team of Hamilton County Addiction Response Coalition, and Equitas Health. The library continues our participation in the federal free meals youth program this fall, with 21 locations currently serving after-school meals to youth. Walnut Hills will join in upon the reopening. This program is possible through our partnership with UMC Ministries. The Library Foundation is also providing funds for supplemental snacks at library locations to meet the needs of youth not otherwise addressed through the federal meals program. And we are collaborating with the Veterans Administration to plan a Veterans Day celebration to take place at the Harrison Branch on Friday, November 11th. And the Outreach Department has signed up 395 educators for delivered collection services at 55 schools throughout Hamilton County. The staff are pulling hand-picked seasonal, holiday, and other titles that tie directly into the class curriculum. And our outreach staff also presented tech programs at Traditions at North Bend and Western Hills retirement communities. Each staff member assisted a table of 1 or 2 residents with tech questions. This includes installing Libby, setting up email, setting up quick links to browse magazines, and even syncing to Wi-Fi printing at one of the facilities. And to increase our community visibility, Laura Madden, CHPL's Special Events Coordinator, oversees the library's presence at large community events with the goal of increasing awareness about the library's programs and services and reaching new audiences. At these events, library staff sign people up for library cards, give out flyers for key library services, answer questions from community members, and often provide an activity, such as making bookmarks or buttons. And actually, I was down at the Black family reunion and got to make a button myself, so it's fun if you can stop by.
Are you, you didn't wear
I
it?
didn't wear it today. I should have worn it. Yeah, next time.
What does your button say?
It's like the science
Oh,
button. So it's fun. There's all these different symbols and images you can put on them, and they've got these little stampers you can go out and use. Sciencey things, you know.
Sciencey stuff.
That's awesome.
Where was I?
Button.
So, yeah, making the buttons. She also provided resources and support for branches to participate in neighborhood events. So see below for a list of large events CHPL has had a presence so far this year as a result of these efforts. I know there's some upcoming ones as well.
Yeah.
And with that, I'll return back to the presiding officer.
And Karen, I do want to add, when I left today, the North Plaza, I walked out, as I mentioned, about the Blink sculpture, and some of our public safety guys were talking about the activation of the North Plaza, and I have had a friend or two send me the video of last Friday, which was like, and I'll tell you, the public safety gentleman said, "Oh my gosh, Paula, the disco people were so good." I mean, they were very, very serious about the disco. So that one was a big hit. But at least 2 or 3 of them, they started telling me all about how awesome the disco event was. So,
We have a disco team here?
well, apparently, I mean, I was very, yes, they love it. So that's been successful, to say the least.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we will turn it over to Mr. Olson for the Technology Committee, please.
Thank you. I'll be reading the report from Holbrook Sample, our Chief Technology and Logistics Officer. Materials budget. The last several years have seen a shift in budgeting and purchase lease landscape for library materials. While the traditional purchase-to-own model for physical books, CDs, and DVDs for customers remain the same, digital materials such as ebooks and audiobooks have undergone a revolution based on leasing, pay-per-use, and curriculum limits, circulation limits that have both restricted access and made them considerably more expensive than their physical counterparts. Point 1, print. Circulation has been recovering since the height of the pandemic, with adult fiction and juvenile fiction leading the way back. Spending over 5 years on print materials has remained at about $3.4 million per year, with a dip in 2020 due to the pandemic. Audiovisual, the pandemic seems to have crystallized much of the movement to streaming services for movies, TV shows, and music. As a result, about half the $1.1 million the library spent per year on average over the previous 5 years has been diverted to digital offerings. Ebooks and audiobooks. One of the options, Overdrive, and their app called Libby, which my wife uses all the time, is the primary source for our customers to borrow digital materials. Leasing models have taken the place of permanent purchase of titles. Some publishers, through Overdrive, lease titles with restricted time in which it is accessible. For instance, 2 years. Some publishers lease titles with a limited number of uses. For instance, 20 checkouts. At the end of the lease, the title has to be selected and leased again, making the work for library staff who select materials complicated and costs increasingly higher. Now, Hoopla is the other main source for digital materials. All digital materials through Hoopla, such as ebooks, audiobooks, music, and e-comics, are always available and leased on a pay-per-use basis. The library pays between 99 cents and $3.99 per customer checkout. Hoopla's ease of use has been attractive to customers and demand keeps rising, but the inability of the library to own the titles for continual use has significantly increased the average cost per checkout. So we're on to the budget. Along with the diversion of funds from physical formats such as DVDs to our digital services, the library has tried to contain costs for digital materials without compromising the availability of titles. We have done this by setting some limits on the number of digital checkouts, limiting the number of digital items a customer can place on hold, and we're planning to focus on directing customers to Overdrive, where we have a very robust curated select collection. We are considering several options for the best use of our budget dollars in this growing and relatively expensive market. This may include reducing the borrowing opportunities for ebooks from Hoopla, while maintaining Hoopla as a great source for audiobooks and other types of digital materials unavailable elsewhere. And then finally, Books by the Banks 2022. Books by the Banks, the region's premier author event, is returning on November 19th to the Duke Energy Center. It will be a day-long event with book signings from national and local authors, panel discussions, and fun activities. Books by the Banks is organized and run by volunteers from local libraries, universities, and other institutions such as Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center. CHPL is the originator and primary force behind Books by the Banks. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Olson.
Welcome.
Ms. Redding. All right. And then we will have Ms. Redding do our Development Committee Chair.
Thank you. So Monica Conan was the chair, Nadine Allen and myself on the committee. This report is from Stacy Clemens, Chief Development Officer. Development Office. The library has been the grateful recipient of several gifts since August, including sizable bequests from the estate of Shirley Long in memory of Virginia Lewis for the Hyde Park branch and the estate of Franklin Dale Estes. The Ohio Department of Education created a special one-time $5 million grant program for public libraries to help students recover from the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic through federal funds. CHPL will submit an application to access this opportunity to support students in our community. The Library Foundation. Since August, the Library Foundation has been the grateful recipient of several significant gifts as follows: Sandra Bullock for maker items at the new Madisonville branch, the Mary L. Kramer Trust for the Madeira branch, the Village Preschool for the Anderson and Mount Washington branches, the Corryville Community Council for the Corryville branch, and Patricia L. and Dennis B. Worthen for the Forest Park branch. The annual library staff giving campaign is underway and will conclude on October 15. Planning for the fall campaign continues, with the public appeal expected to launch by mid-November. Friends of the Public Library. October is Friends Members Month with an extra 20% off of all member purchases. On the opening weekend of the month, sales were very strong with double-digit growth in new members. Anderson Township Library Association. The ATLA Holiday Sale will return to the Anderson branch from November 3rd through 5th. That's the end of the report.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Redding.
You're welcome.
So we need a motion to approve of our consent items.
I move we accept the consent items.
All in favor?
Aye. All right, and then lastly, a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourned. We adjourned.
I second.
All
All
right.
in favor?
Aye. Meeting adjourned.
Yeah.